Welcome to Safeword by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Safeword is a podcast made by the Fear and Greed team responsible for Australia's most popular business podcast. More than 600,000 downloads last month. Skiting them. Safeword is our lighter look at the business world and things well beyond that. As always, I'm joined by my colleagues from Fear and Greed. First up, we have Adam Lang, a man who, as regular listeners would know, loves a spreadsheet. He thinks in terms of spreadsheets. He dreams in terms of spreadsheets. But this week, his adoration and usage of Excel hit a new high. A little more of that in a moment. Adamski, hello.
Hello, Sean.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
I do not. It all appears normal to me.
Exactly. Next, we have Michael Thompson, who, notwithstanding his prowess as a mathematician, ain't such a spreadsheet lover. Mickey thinks of himself more as a man of the people, though he freely admits he has absolutely no interest in meeting any of those people. Morning, Mickey.
Oh, hello, Sean. When have I ever given you that impression?
The fact that you don't like going outside the house. We talked about getting an office and you're no, then we'd have to meet. Things like that.
All right, I stand corrected. Carry on.
As it is. We always like to start the show with audience feedback. Michael.
Yes.
Well, it's filtered audience feedback, let's be honest.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're not going to share. Actually, you know what? If we got a really filthy email, just like really angry and upset with what we were doing, I would share that. I would share it just because.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It would be fun. But, I mean, we don't get those. We only get praise, which, I mean, that says a lot as well, doesn't it? We received an email this week, and it's from an executive at a fairly significantly sized company. And I'm going to leave out this listener's name for her own protection. She said, I'm really loving the show lately, which is...
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Her own protection, as in, you don't think these people would actually like to admit that they listen to Safeword?
Well, that's what she says. She says, I'm really loving the show lately, as in Fear and Greed, the daily kind of business news show. But then she says, I've even expanded my addiction to Safeword. I find it very entertaining. And so I don't know whether this is something that people would be comfortable admitting publicly.
Guilty pleasure.
Because Safeword kind of sounds a little bit kinky, doesn't it?
No, it didn't until this moment.
In the ear of the beholder, Michael.
Yes, well said. Well said.
Hang on, what are we putting in whose ears? We need a safe word.
We need a safe word quickly. I have an option. I mean, can I jump in with my option for the safe word? Firstly, great feedback.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yes,
that someone of import.
It's like like Fear and Greed is kind of the gateway drug for Safeword. Like if people are kind of experimenting with business news and they find Fear and Greed and then they kind of get into the dark, kind of dirty places of Safeword, it's their secret little...
Michael. I wonder whether we've all got very different perspectives on what this podcast is.
No, Adam, I don't think you and I have different perspectives on what this podcast is.
Right.
But the point of this is it does bring us, we do need a safe word.
Yeah.
Of course, each episode we have a safe word so that we can get out of difficult conversations by throwing in that safe word. Oh, Adam's got a safe word option.
I do. I would like to nominate casket.
Well, that's a lively topic.
Well done. So we all need an exit plan, right? Like every good business needs a good exit plan, like life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an article in the last week that caskets and the use of is going way down. So I thought I would relate the safe word to one of the topics I'd like to talk about.
This is another infamous Adam Lang link where he picks a topic and then tries to kind of make a business kind of safe word link to it and often is unsuccessful in doing so.
It's good fun trying.
Thwarted by my colleagues.
So casket is your nomination. And Sean, you said you had one as well.
I did. I want to say hockey ruse.
Oh, you win. Hockey ruse is better.
So during the week, we got a 5-star rating and review from Georgia Wilson, who is a hockey-roo player at the Commonwealth Games at the moment, playing hockey for Australia. And in short, she said that she loves listening to Fear and Greed. She gets it at night and something that she looks forward to every day. And she's out there winning games for Australia playing hockey. And, I mean, for we three, we're all really chuffed.
What a compliment.
Georgia Wilson, who's obviously an absolute elite athlete.
Can I ask probably a slightly delicate question? What percentage of the Hockeyroos' success do you think we can claim?
Oh, look, I mean, we don't want to go over the top. You don't want to go over...
It would have to be near zero, wouldn't it?
Well, you don't want to go over 50%. I mean, you don't want to be too silly about it.
I'd say 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere between 0 and 40.
Well, Georgia's a very good... She's a dominant player.
Oh, we're claiming Georgia.
Well...
As Fear and Greed's own.
We're claiming everything.
Okay. Don't know how she feels about our endorsement, but if she's happy to have it, we're happy to give it.
Well, she provided Fear and Greed an endorsement. It's only fair that we provide one back.
Okay. Our favourite Hockey-roo.
Absolutely our favourite. And from your part of the world, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Western Australia.
Yes.
Mahogany Creek.
Lots of high performers from WA. Lots of high-performing hockey players from WA. Rick Charlesworth.
Rick Charlesworth,
great
of
pedigree.
course, is the sort of father of Australian hockey, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he was a player, captain, coach.
Yep.
So if we have two options here, we've got Hockeyroos or Casket.
Yeah.
As our
I'm sensing the wind here. I may have lost. Hockey-roo it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make Hockey-roo our safe word for the day, but let's get into the topic of caskets. Let's start things at a level that we can't get much lower.
Okay. Caskets are a dying business, read the headline, gentlemen. Now, the rationale would seem to, this was a Bloomberg report during the week, and it would seem to make a great deal of sense. And some of it, quite awfully, was prompted by the need for burying or cremating many people during the course of COVID. And many elected not to go through the ceremony of a casket.
This is getting very dark.
I feel like we need to vet Adam's stories before he nominates them.
I think so.
It's called the edit button. But if you are brave enough to proceed, everyone needs a good exit plan, like I said before. And
we don't
I've
want
got
people
mine.
exiting 7 minutes into the podcast, though.
Businesses have a good exit plan. And this has been a really interesting twist in the business cycle. So cremations have gone way up. Now, would you, Michael, have you thought about the end, and would you elect to be buried, or cremated, or other?
What's the other?
Whichever you want. You have a very rich imagination, so I want to leave that category open to you.
Well, I mean, I'd like to explore the other for a moment. I mean, there's obviously mummification, obviously.
And like all good deities.
That's right.
And
various forms of embalming. And then there's the opportunity to be shot into space.
Okay.
One would think about the potential for a burial at sea.
You want to be one of those satellites in the sky.
That's right. I
so favour looking at.
I want to get caught up in the Starlink slipstream and just
Elon Musk trail.
Go, oh, what's that? Oh, it's just Michael just bumping along behind us.
He's the last of the satellites, you know.
That's right. Then when they get decommissioned, I'm still just cruising around, round and round and round. Like, you can monitor me on an app. So anyway, long story short, look, most likely cremation, I think, if not one of those other options. Burial at sea kind of is cool, but also I'd probably just wash up at Coogee. Like they only took him 100 yards offshore.
Not far enough.
They didn't get him past the breakers. Yeah.
Sean?
Totally cremation. More people are cremated in the US than buried now, I think.
Yes.
From memory.
Absolutely. The lead changed in recent years. It's remarkable.
A few years back. And so, I mean, firstly, it's cheaper. I don't want my kids to have to pay for bloody a massive wooden casket, which is just going to rot away. Sean. Always. The huge sums of money I'll be leaving them. Clearly, I want them to be able to spend it the way they want. Also, you get buried in a plot of ground, that's okay. But then, family move, even if your family don't move away, even if they live around the corner, they're not going to pop in that regularly. And then they move away. And I just don't want people to think, I'm going to have to go and, visit Dad at the cemetery. I'd prefer, in fact, my kids know this. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes spread at a particular beach. And that's it, because that's kind of
all done.
Where I like to be. Yep.
Done and dusted. I love it.
Done and dusted. Don't know whether that's right.
Oh, that's the term.
Yeah, I know, but
You don't
I'm a
like
hockey
it?
ruse. It's not very sensitive. Okay.
Very well.
What about you, Adam?
Oh, definitely. Look, harvest all of my organs for anything that's useful to someone else.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh no, hold on. Let's not just leave that lie. So,
sorry.
what like your brain? Where would that be useful?
I don't know if anyone would really have use for it or want it. Do they get to choose?
Or parts of your brain.
I don't
The
I don't
orderly
know that it
part.
can be divvied up.
No, you never know. By the time you die, it might be able to.
Okay,
That orderly
well,
part of your brain.
They
See,
can have that too.
Your brain works just a bit differently to everyone else's. And I'm not trying to be funny here, Adam. I'm really not.
I know. You genuinely mean it. But to me, it's absolutely normal, of course.
You are a conundrum.
So, yes, I would leave my brain, but all organs can go to anyone or anything that can have use for them. Then cremation.
What about the people who donate their body to science fully?
That's cool.
Well, that's honourable
Because that's where your brain would go.
to science.
Wow, wouldn't that be amazing? A lot of doctors out there training.
No, actually, I don't want medical students poking around. I don't feel like they'd respect me.
Why does this one say erotic all the time?
On the brain. I'm so
Well, Michael's
confused by this
brain, would you see,
conversation.
you'd like plug in some electrodes and what is the word erotic? Like if there was a word cloud from Michael's
No, you
brain.
poke that part of the brain and it just emits this little noise. It sounds like erotic.
Let me out. Yes.
This has gone to a weird place.
This is really weird.
Very existential. Anyway, as Michael said, and it all links back to business
Yes.
of cremations.
So your cremation though, Adam.
I would, yes.
Fair enough.
Very comfortable with that.
Fair enough. Now look, I mentioned in the introduction Adamski's effort this week on the spreadsheet.
Yes.
And
so this is the more common ground of feedback for Adam,
Yeah.
aka sledging.
Now, Adam is a jovial chap, very collegiate, extremely collegiate.
There's a however coming.
No, full stop. No however on that. This, in the last week, we have had a Luke Smith, a guy that works with us, who has come on board full time. Luke's role in life is to make, during the week, make Michael and I sound better than what we actually are. He does a tremendous job. Lovely fella.
Yes.
Musician. Ever see Luke Smith out there playing somewhere around Sydney?
Well, it's Luke St. James.
Sorry?
It's Luke St. James.
When he performs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Luke St. James. Huh, there you go.
And he's very good.
Anyway, Luke St. James, a.k.a. Smithy, is part of the Fear and Greed team. And as part of that induction process, Adam sent to Luke our purposes, values, behaviour and goals. Now, I think every organisation should have purpose, values, behaviour and goals. I think it's I think they're good ideas. And normally when you receive those, you might receive a little pack. At the very worst, you might receive a PowerPoint just explaining what the company is about.
At the very worst.
You'd think that was at the very worst. This week, Luke got it, and
We may have ploughed a new low.
Adamski, he CC'd myself on it, and Michael, I'm not sure whether you have given up reading Adam's emails or not, but I'm not sure.
I have explored this one only because it was worth every minute.
So I think the headline said something along, purpose, values, behaviours and goals. And what surprised me was why is the attachment an Excel spreadsheet when you're talking about these very human emotions of
Matters of the
purpose,
heart,
values?
Sean.
Yes. Anyway, I opened it. You've actually sent him our purpose, values, behaviour and goals in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so you've got them, and then you've got yes, no, and like a tick, 3 boxes, tick.
Oh, Sean, you've only gone to the first tab. I can tell.
Talk about totally destroying culture, totally like creating this. The poor bloke probably opened it and just went.
Haven't you heard of the stone tablets? I don't know that they destroyed
He would have
culture.
opened it and just went, oh my God, we're working for I'm working for a place whose values are in a spreadsheet.
Yeah. How good?
Have you ever considered whether these spreadsheets are mobile appropriate, considering that most young people...
Do they render on the phone?
Oh, look, that's a very good question. I haven't considered it, Michael.
Okay, well, you consider that while I draw Sean's attention to one particular tab, my favourite tab in this spreadsheet. Sean, I don't know if you've made it all the way along. There's purpose and values and behaviours and goals and performance plans and performance meetings. The final tab is one called calendar. Please click on that.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that in September of this year,
Yes.
Adam has already scheduled in half an hour for lunch?
Adam, what is it? What is this?
It's good to have a plan, Sean.
Well, apparently in October, you plan to spend 1 hour walking around.
I've got to describe this
in
spreadsheet.
my metaphysical office.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth tab is along the bottom is calendar draft, and it's got fiscal quarter, month, yearly, half yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. No idea. Then Q1, Q2, Q3 down. So I better get this right. The rows are the Q1, Q2. The columns are the yearly, half yearly, quarterly, etc. And then it's got just sort of like odd things. So the monthly has exactly the same thing every month. Is that right? Same with the weekly. And then the odd things like 1 hour walking around in October. Yeah. I like it. 2 hours on comms.
This is...
What's this got to do with?
This is from your previous role. It's just dawned on me.
This was something, Michael, that I shared with you, self-authored in a very different capacity. Mm-hmm. I've always had this for me and whatever job I've done, including the one I'm doing now. Now, two things. I think I shared this with you both. When did we start? April 2020.
Yeah, I
first shared this with you in April 2020.
Yeah, Sean wouldn't have read it. Neither of us read it until we needed Safeword material. And then all of a sudden you read everything that Adam sends just in case there's a little nugget. And sometimes you just get the welcome stranger nugget, which is this one.
A cunning plan. So this is about building good habits for me, everything that works for me. And as you might predict, I'm quite comprehensive, hence the 6 tabs. And I can literally, this is how I schedule my working life. And it includes also getting enough rest and fitness in as well.
Hey, Michael, just while he's crapping on, go to values and behaviours tab. That's a scream. Go on. Right. Go on, Adamski.
I should. I don't even need to open it up.
Unaligned behaviours.
Yes.
We turn a blind eye. We do not own the issue. We focus on ourselves.
I remember these being drafted. This was in a session in Melbourne in about 2017.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise you to know that I've done it before.
We meet outside the meeting.
Ooh, no meeting outside the meeting, Sean.
Oh, they're the best kind of meetings.
I want you to read that and commit it to memory.
We do not own a decision. We meet outside the meeting. Unaligned behaviours.
Yep.
We accept failure. But what if I am a failure? You can't, give me a break.
Resisting change. Not a fan. I've spent my life trying to resist change. That is very, very firmly aligned with my value system.
You do resist change.
That's right.
Did you just provide this? Why did you provide this to poor Luke? He ain't coming back next week. I mean it.
We'll see. We'll let Luke decide, won't we?
Luke won't read it. I mean, until he's...
Oh, no, he didn't get an option. I went through it with him. That was our first one-to-one meeting.
No. Has there been a second meeting?
It's booked in for Monday. Hasn't been cancelled yet.
Oh, the poor fella. I'm going to have a word to him. I'll just put up with it. You always got this boss that does this sort of stuff.
I think that counts as a meeting outside the meeting, though, doesn't it?
It does. Good point.
Yeah. That's not aligned, Sean.
But I'm going to turn a blind eye to that. which is also another unaligned behaviour.
Not aligned. Not aligned.
This is extraordinary.
And it works. Have
It's
your
glorious.
culture code.
Do you still have, Adam, I remember seeing the draft of your calendar, which was a handwritten draft, and you sketched it on a plane.
Yeah.
And have you still got that? Do you still
Yep.
work off that one? It's in one of your little leather-bound books.
Oh, well, look, it wouldn't surprise you to know that I ditched the diaries
Actually, that would
That does
surprise me
surprise
to
us.
learn.
Yeah.
after scanning them all.
Oh,
Of course.
see, I jumped in too early.
So you scanned all the pages of your handwritten notes in a diary and you've kept them.
Absolutely. There's some bloody good material in there.
What do your kids think of you, Adam? Honestly. Like in a good way.
I get quizzical looks from time to time.
Only when they find your calendar and see that you haven't actually factored them into it. I don't see attend AFL with kids. Don't see that in there.
Jeez. Speaking of which, between Friday night and Saturday afternoon, I reckon there were 8 hours of AFL.
That's a lot of sport.
Training, watched a school match, watched another 2 school matches on Saturday.
Can I say I watched 6 games of sport on the weekend?
Yes.
Can I
Sorry, Michael.
Oh, no,
go
that's
ahead.
all right. I just thought I'd do the decent thing. I'm going to hockey ruse this because
Yeah, no, fair enough.
we started talking about elite sport with the hockey ruse,
Mm.
and here we are now kind of drifting off aimlessly after a slight detour through death.
To a spreadsheet.
Onto spreadsheets, which
That's
was just
right.
below death.
I'm hockey rusing everything to date, and we're going to start fresh. And I have a business-related topic that I wish to raise with you both.
Go on.
Okay.
And this actually comes as a result of something new for Safeword. It is our very first listener question.
Ooh.
So really, I could have raised this when I brought up our feedback at the start, but this is actually a listener question. Remember how a while ago we said, hey, how cool would it be if we had people asking us for help with kind of an office dilemma or something, and we will try and solve it. So it's our first kind of like ask us anything, or what do we call it? Help me Safeword, fear and
Good
greed to
one.
the rescue.
I like Help Me Safeword.
Help me Safeword actually kind of, it's got a few connotations, doesn't it?
Only to you.
It didn't.
It does now. You're right, Adam. It
You know
didn't.
what? You know what? I think you two needed to look up what a safe word really was before you agreed to have a podcast called Safe Word. Because when I suggested, hey, we should call this entire podcast Safe Word, Adam, because you were the first one that said, I need a safe word. Then I said, let's rebrand the whole thing Safe Word. I really feel like if you weren't expecting a lot of little sneaky erotic elements
Innuendos.
to creep in there. And also, Sean, it was pointed out to me during the week that a lot on this podcast, I do this little bit of eroticism. the term a little bit, which is actually a tribute to you and your little bit of spittle that you once referred to as
many years ago.
That's right, when you had to get a little bit of spittle to help open one of the bags in the fruit and veg section of the supermarket.
COVID days. Yeah.
Since then, I have fully adopted that as a way of speaking. And it came from you. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But tell me what the question I like. So, help me safe word.
Help me safe word. So this question came from. Now, I'm going to assume that this is actually a pseudonym because it's not a name that you hear very often these days. It came
Alternatively, you've just totally identified someone. But go on.
Well, okay. Maybe I won't name them. No, I will. Percy.
Percy. What a great name.
It's a fantastic name, but it is not a name that you really hear very often. I think of
Not
Percy
often
as a
enough.
small green engine on Thomas the Tank Engine.
Uncle Percy.
It feels like you need to whistle on the
Yes.
C. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, Percy.
Adam, your turn. Oh,
What
there we
whistle?
go.
You look like
Alan Seal.
Oh, there we go. Almost in perfect unison.
Help me safe word. Come on.
Okay, so the question is, would love to hear your take on how to have a disagreement at work. So this isn't providing negative feedback. This is when you just straight up disagree with someone. Percy says, my go-to line is, I'm just going to push back on this one. And so he's clearly in a meeting and someone says something, and instead of just saying, you're wrong, he will go, look, I'm just going to push back on this one. I think it should be this. Whereas I would think it would be more effective if you were more direct and just say, you're an idiot.
Something off.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's very crude. Not like that kind of talk here. Thanks, Adam. What would you do?
I don't mind that one. Push back.
I'm just going to push back on this one.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's not a buzzword per se.
Oh, okay.
But I think another one that when I hear it, I don't mind it, is when someone says, can I challenge you on that? And so almost ask for permission and forewarns of the impending challenge to come. So I like that.
Oh, I prefer someone to just say, I disagree, you're a dickhead.
Oh, the personalisation as well.
No, or passive aggressive. I'd go big on that.
How constructive have you found that over the years, Sean?
And it's best if you can also pick out a physical feature.
Yeah.
Like you go, I disagree.
Jesus, that's a nose.
God, you've got no hair or just something. And just go,
You're
really?
looking
Just
at
notice.
me.
No. Well, I was about to say the same nose thing because I have a decent-sized nose, but then you took it. So it felt like we were actually just getting into a personal sledging match just then. So anyway.
No, I like that one.
I quite like saying I disagree. Like,
yeah, you do.
You push back
and
on
you
that.
Do it well.
The problem with saying I'm going to push back on that, it's kind of like saying I don't believe anything you've just said. I'm trying to say it nicely. I would prefer someone to say to me, I just disagree. Why? Because blah, and off you go. And you don't have this fluffing around. You know, problem with an office, right? Everyone's so friggin' nice to each other. You know, you walk in, you don't like the person that's sitting on your right. The person on your left sort of always has lunch at their desk. You don't like that either. Then you get into this meeting room and you've got to put up with this how's your weekend crap for about 15 minutes.
Oh,
and then someone
talk.
says something. And you feel like saying, can we, look, we're now 30 minutes into this 45-minute meeting. We know it's going to go overtime because we haven't done anything yet. Can we just like have 15-minute huddles? Oh, there we go, have huddles. But huddles where everyone can talk as opposed to just Adam. But can we just have a meeting, just get it out? If you disagree, say you disagree and give me the 3 reasons why and off we go. Like, I think that'd be so much more fun.
I agree with you. I think it would be better where it is just more direct. I'm not the most direct person when I disagree with someone.
But isn't that quite direct? Can I push back on that? Or what was I'd like to push back on that?
I'm just going to push back on this one.
Percy's pushback.
Oh, Percy's pushback.
I quite like that.
Yeah. I love anything with a catchy name. Whereas I tend to just soften it a little bit. Like,
yeah. So you do, Michael. When Adam and I, so of this trio, Adam and I would be the two that would disagree. I don't actually think we would disagree as such, but we come at things from a different way.
Yeah.
And so Adam and I do our thing, and then Michael comes somewhat intellectually at times, and often just like. Always in the middle. Like you never really pick Adam's side. You never really pick my side. You're just in the middle saying, yeah, well, look, the way I see this is, and I mean, it's just soft, Michael. Just come out and say, Sean, you're an idiot.
I find with Michael
But I just not to your face.
There's a meeting outside the meeting.
Better.
Yeah. That's right.
Outside the meeting.
Yeah. I posted online.
Michael's technique is most frequently when he sees you and I, Sean, disagreeing, is to try to suppress a smile of glee and then step back from the microphone, reach for popcorn and just watch.
Well, the thing
he
is
loves
that
it.
Typically also you will end up at the right place. If you guys just fight it, it's when you suddenly then end up at a place that I still disagree with. That's when I figure, I'm like, oh, crap, now I've actually got to say something. And then I will go with it. Look, I don't necessarily agree.
Oh,
yes.
that's necessarily. That's your word.
Yeah.
You do. You say, I don't necessarily agree, which is like softening.
That's right. And then I'll explain to you why.
So Percy, I hope Percy's listening to this.
And I will typically wait until the end and you both have had your say and you've kind of agreed on something. And if I still disagree with you, then that's my time to shine.
All right, Michael, the classic moment, and it was photographed by an unnamed source, where you ended up on your trampoline with headphones on, holding your phone in your right hand and seemingly looking at it but doing laps of your trampoline.
With the shave coat on. Dressing gown, sorry.
What an image, the shave coat. Is that a moment where you paused before not necessarily agreeing?
Yes. Yep, that was one of those ones where you two had kind of been going at each other for a little while. And then, Adam, get your mind out of the gutter.
It wasn't.
Sure. And you were still in the wrong place. You weren't where we needed to be as a business.
Who was in the wrong place, please, Michael?
You both were.
Oh, right.
And
thank God we have Michael.
There's only one right way, and typically the right way is the Michael way.
The difference.
That's right.
Save us, the difference. Save us.
Oh, God.
So, have we solved this for Percy?
Yeah, no, I think it's fairly clear. There's many means and methods, but the direct way is the way to go.
Yeah, don't let it go.
Oh, God,
That is opportunity lost.
Oh, passive-aggressive isn't a bad way to go either, just quietly.
Awful.
No, why not? Just undermine them.
That's not in the code, Sean.
Go around them.
C cell B7. Yeah. That is not in the code.
Should we do a little subset of questions here for Percy as best ways to undermine someone that you disagree with?
Yes. Would you like to take the lead on this one, Michael?
Yeah.
No, I've got no experience on this.
I like the person, in the meeting when someone says something and someone else in the room goes, oh, no, look, I won't say anything. It's totally undermined. It's brilliant. Percy,
Sean,
use that one.
Can I just suggest Michael wouldn't do this himself, but boy, has he learned from some of the best when it comes to undermining.
Michael has a storied history on the people he's worked with.
Just as an occupational hazard.
Yeah. He's worked with some very high-profile individuals who are very strong-willed. I think that's what you're saying. Is that right, Adamski?
Well, look, they seem to have a certain point of view, and I've learned a lot about how you can affect that point of view. Some of it orthodox, some of it not. And Michael would have seen it at closer quarters than me.
Can I share something else that I've noticed this week?
Moving swiftly along.
That's been hockey rude.
It
Go on.
That I suspect has...
He doesn't like talking about himself much, does he, Adamski? No. Sorry, Michael. Go on.
What if you use the third person? If you call yourself the difference, can you talk about it, Michael? What does the difference think?
Yeah. Now, his former jobs, Michael doesn't talk about publicly.
It's hockey rude.
It's hockey rude.
To summarise, I think we've answered it. It's best to be direct for Percy.
The Percy pushback is a good technique.
Push back and undermine, really.
Yeah.
It's just do the...
If you don't want to push back because it's not your style, just undermine.
Yeah, but it's always best as a 1-2 kind of a combo.
Yeah.
Push back directly, and then as soon as you get out of the meeting, start spreading rumours.
Very much so.
Embezzlement, that kind of thing. Like just minor stuff. Just say, hey.
Did someone mention fraud?
Yeah. You should check the books for November. I didn't tell you, but you need to have a closer look. Check the expenses. Anyway, so that's the Percy pushback.
The Percy, look, thank you. And anyone else out there who'd like any advice, helpful advice, such as what we've just provided Percy in terms of pushing back, get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you directly, probably Facebook, fearandgreed.com.
Yeah, go to the Fear and Greed Facebook page or Fear and Greed on Twitter or Fear and Greed on LinkedIn. You can even email us through fearandgreed.com.au. There's so many ways to send it through. And
help me Safeword.
Help me Safeword with your problem, and we'll see what Adam has to add beyond just undermining them. And anyway, moving on. Adam, speaking of Twitter, I remember that we spoke
in technology for a reason. You know this is not my strong suit.
That's right. But we've spoken before about your problems with Twitter, in particular, how you got us locked out of our Twitter account, out of the Fear and Greed Twitter account. I think I might have figured out why. I was on Twitter, on our Twitter page the other day, and I noticed that it says Fear and Greed is listed as a media and news company, so that's correct. It's got our website, fearandgreed.com.au. Apparently, Fear and Greed was born on January 3rd. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is in fact your birthday.
I do believe
Is it
that's your
not, Adam?
birthday.
I will neither confirm nor deny. I don't like talking about birthdays,
But you're happy to post it as
apparently
Fear and Greed's birthday.
okay with
It is publicly listed at the top of our page in our prominent personal information about Fear and Greed is that Fear and Greed's birthday is January 3 every year.
Now I'm going to have to look on the internet machine and find out how to fix that.
Oh, please don't.
Oh,
No. Let it go. I'm happy for it to be 3rd of January.
you remember the show Monkey
What?
back in the 70s? Japanese show.
I wasn't born.
Okay. But these things about film,
And
Michael,
no.
they exist beyond their original date. And so it is quite famous. Monkey was born from an egg on a mountaintop. So I was just trying to relate that to our Twitter birth of Fear and Greed. Born on 3rd of January. We'll have to come up with a folkloric tale.
The concept of a Twitter birth just
Yes.
then, it's just kind of messy, isn't it? Let's hockey ruse this whole conversation.
I think it's time to go. Tell me, have you both got a recommendation for our listeners in terms of viewing or reading or music?
So
I've got one. Can I
go
start?
ahead.
Every game the Hockey Roos have played during the Commonwealth Games. You can stream it, get onto it. Georgia Wilson, she's the star.
Maybe we'll just make that our united recommendation for this week.
So
No, Adam's building to something.
Yeah,
He disagrees. You're going to push back on this one, Adam.
no, I like it. But as a compliment,
I
if
like
you
it,
needed
but-
some theme music to go alongside it.
Ah, yeah.
The Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen.
Dun, 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 dun. Good for you and me.
Fantastic
Da, da,
piece
da,
of
da, da.
thrash rock.
Yes, it is one of the great pieces. Do you know it, Michael? The Sex Pistols version of God Save the Queen?
Probably not. No, again, I
don't think the Bee Gees ever covered it.
No, I don't think so.
No, look, I'm speaking for everyone under the age of 40 right now, and so let me Google that.
You have heard of the Beatles, however, Michael. I think most of the Bee Gees repertoire was released before you were born, wasn't it? Didn't stop you.
It feels like you're being a little bit of a nitpicker here today, Adam. And
What with accuracy?
No. You know what? Let me just go back to the values and behaviours in your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good place to finish, Michael. Go on.
Yep. Okay, so it appears that you are trying to play the person and not the issue.
No, the issue is factual accuracy. This is not personal.
Is this an aligned behaviour or an unaligned behaviour?
These are unaligned behaviours.
Oh, so okay. Yes, I like the unaligned behaviours.
I do too.
Yeah, they're more fun, aren't they?
Yeah?
Well, no,
They're good.
aligned behaviours though.
Mm.
You know, like we are present. Really,
Yeah.
we are present.
You show up
We show up.
on time, Sean.
We see something. We do something.
Yeah, you don't just walk by it.
We have integrity and do what we say.
Yes.
No.
See, I feel this needed to be kind of customised for Fear and Greed.
I
Yeah.
welcome your input.
Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't. I wasn't offering that.
That sounds like effort.
We role model courage and resilience by not giving up.
Yes.
Oh,
I like that we do not own a decision.
Yep.
I'll happily own good decisions. If it's not a good decision, i.e. one I disagree with.
I mean, a successful decision is mine. An unsuccessful decision is yours.
You guys are so good to work with.
I think that's it. I think it's time to go. Thank you for listening to Safeword by Fear and Greed. I hope that we've enlightened you in terms of how you really should be thinking about purposes, values, behaviours and goals in your own place of work. Adamski is available. He has many spreadsheets and he'll send them to you. I tell you what.
If you want the fun sucked out of your business,
Get in touch
give Adam Fun Sucking Lang.
and say that the right way.
It's very risky to finish on.
Adam Funsucking Lang, have a good day.
Thank you, Sean.
Mickey, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sean.
That was Safeword by Fear and Greed. Don't forget to hit follow on Safeword so you get a new episode every week. Tell your friends, your family, and your colleagues. I'm Sean Aylmer. Have a great day.